Hello and welcome back, everyone. Today we're playing as the Roman Republic. Unfortunately, this is obscuring our very nice name that stretches across, our lands. We're getting pretty close to the end here, and by pretty close to the end, I think that even if we don't accomplish the goal of getting, the full borders, this might be the last episode because I'm tearing my hair out over here with the speed at which the game is progressing. Last episode, I think we fought Germany several times, but more importantly, we went redder than ever. We got a star for our efforts. It's grammar school all over again, and we will be completing the transition to cooperative ownership coming up here, and in doing so we will be the reddest of red Romes. Red rum, red Rome. Notably, once we dust up Germany in this war to conquer Sawari, we're conquering Sawari. I don't know how to pronounce this, but we have in here Franconia, Hesse, Brunswick, Saxony, all this jazz. Once this war finishes up, we actually could form Central Europe if we weren't so based. We're going to definitely stay as Rome, but we could also form Italy. We could form Italy and get the achievement that, is not important, here, in terms of possible. We could do SPQR, but I'm curious as to why this is not just have the borders, because why would we form Italy? Why would we form the fake when we could be, the classic Rome? So we are just cutting through the German troops like butter here because, less so the USA troops, because they've already kind of just gotten off of fighting a massive war with us, and then they sided against us, and then we sided something against them. I think we just kind of finished up a war. Either way, we're dusting them up pretty quick. We are getting pushed back here. We're hoping that this unit over here will be able to help out. We're not fully mobilized, but to be honest, we have so many units that have yet to be organized, and by organized, I mean we have to divide them up and ship them to different spots and this type of thing, and so it is going to be a little bit difficult. We're also fighting the USA, but we don't care about capitulating to the USA specifically in terms of the war goals, and so regime change in Liège, no one cares, and so the only one we would care is losing Constantine, but we're not going to lose it because we fully occupy them over here, and so it's just a matter of enforcing on Germany, and then we'll capitulate to the USA. So considering that's the case, we actually had a naval landing prepping coming in here. I think we're going to switch which guy is naval landing and who's landing where and this type of thing, and instead we're going to take this guy. We're still going to land over here, but we're just going to use, kind of one of our convoy raiding guys, and then with this really big navy, what we're going to do is we're going to pull one of these kind of big stacks from the USA, because we actually don't care if the USA front collapses. It's not a big deal. And so, we got some heavy tanks in this one. And we'll just have them land Pomerania instead. In 11 weeks, this war should still be going on in 11 weeks, so that's a thing. We are now kind of able to push out of here, so this is going to be fairly good for us. We are enforcing, and since they have war goals on us, we made sure to check this beforehand. Since they have war goals on us to do these things, we are fine enforcing, on these guys early. If they didn't have any war goals and they just joined without war goals, we would not want to enforce on these guys immediately. Instead, we just want to defend front. That way, the Conquer Constantine war goal would prevent us from decaying below zero. But since we're in this position, we're just going to enforce on them as quickly as possible. Also, just wanted to make a note of last episode, we 3.5x construction, and it might have been a little bit strange watching us pull off this construction thing and be like, well, how do you do that? How do you do it? He did it with the investment pool being absolutely massive and very, very stored up. We haven't really been pushing the eco as much, kind of in this run, because it is very tedious with the current construction queue, and several episodes ago we had to really expand the military, and so now we could even double construction again, if we wanted to. And I know you might ask, well, why would you do that? You're already lagging. Why would you want to double construction when you need more eco for what? You already have a really strong army. And to that I say, you're probably right. You probably have a very good point, and adding more construction, it doesn't make any sense. And so logically speaking, we shouldn't be doing this type of thing where we add more construction. It would be silly. It would take some kind of idiot to just add a bunch of construction when it's unnecessary. And so, of course, we're not going to be doing anything like that because we're a smart player here. So we have occupied Silesia, which is the war goal we have in this, where Kuch was trying to annex, or sorry, Germany was trying to annex Kuch. We sided in order to get Silesia. We now have fully occupied Silesia, and the USA, the United Scientific Associations, of course, it will be promptly enforced on here as best we can. I think we'll actually move this guy over to a different front as this guy comes in. It doesn't really matter because we don't care about enforcing on the USA. In fact, we could even make peace where we just give up, you know, the 2 war goals we actually care about. But Germany is not about that life yet. They're about the getting fully occupied again life, and so we're more than happy to oblige. They are starting to tick pretty fast here in the Kuch War as well, and so we're gonna get basically all of this here. I believe Saxony's in, Saxony, Anhalt, and everything, you know, to the left of this, or, you know, if you know how to read a map, to the west, which we don't know how to read a map, and then also Silesia, because we couldn't resist ourselves, because we could kind of get all this for free. Again, could form, after this war, could form Central Europe if we wanted to, but Central Europe is just an imitation of that which was Rome, so why would we ever form Central Europe? Alright, this is going to be a very satisfying, you know, what is it called? Poppers? And we're going to pop the German Empire here. Oh, let's see it. Goodbye, like half of... Oh my god. We're just gonna... Yeah, there we go. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Now, of course, we're still at war with Germany because we have this other war, and so it's like the it's like the war never ended. What peace deal? What are you talking about, my guy? And so we will get in here as best we can. Oh, we're still navally invading. Still counts. Very good. And it unassigned all their guys from the front. That's going to be rather nasty for them because that's going to mean we get to push in and full occupy really, really quick with kind of the remaining forces we have. But we're out of the USA, no longer fighting them, and we'll be dusting up, redusting Germany here. And look at these nice Roman borders. Okay, so coming on up, we are about to have cooperative ownership, and so we want to actually double check that we have all the companies we want in that are in, because as soon as we pass this point, we will lose access to our very, very nice free company from laissez-faire. This won't actually unslot a company unless they've updated this. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure we have all the companies that we want in for the very end of the game. And so we're going to kind of take a look through, but I think we really like these infra companies. You know, the railroad, we have this railroad plus engine company and this iron plus steel company here. And then this is the best tooling company, so I think we want it in. The railway building throughput is really, really nice. And so, especially because this modifier is actually multiplicative with the infrastructure modifier. It gives you 10% more base infrastructure, and then it's multiplied by this. And so we're really not having to build a lot of railroads, which is quite nice because railroads kind of suck. And so the question is what do we think of this military goods company that we've been using for a while now? The thing is goods for military buildings, it's costing us like 2 million. So this is a like 200k free money modifier. So I actually think this is maybe good enough, especially because we are starting to care less and less about construction speed and we care more about throughput. And to be fair, we do have a decent number of explosives factories. Where I think the weak link is here is going to be in these two companies, and specifically, I think that this company is going to be weak because we already have the throughput bonus for lead, and so the marginal throughput bonus is going to be only 10% more. We already have a throughput bonus on iron, and also we have access to really, really good companies now that we haven't slotted in yet. And so we're going to take a look at what companies we want and then be back kind of with our finalized, locked-in companies before we go Council Republic. Also, notably, we have been floating authority up here. The reason being is for the extra enactment time, which is pretty nice. It's not that we're too worried about a rev, but we kind of just want to get it through a little bit faster, after which we'll probably put back in consumption taxes. All right, so we're going to be slotting out both the generic mining company. We already took the iron company out, and we replaced it with the forestry company. We notably we have plus 69 price rubber, and so, which is nice, but it's not nice. And, you know, if we were more heads up about getting all this land, we might have been able to deal with it better, but we gave up a ton of colonization land repeatedly because we wanted to make sure we would get full Roman borders, and so we missed out on some rubber. And considering we're very near shortage on it, I thought that company would be solid, as well as, you know, the throughput on the wood. Wood tends to be an industry that, you know, you don't get a lot of throughput from economies of scale, and so the throughput is going to be more valuable on it as a whole, and so I thought that this would be pretty nice as well. So this is thing one. And then the second company, I think that the loud car company that we're going to slot in is we're going to take this out. We only have like 600, you know, sulfur mines, and so the additional half the valuable throughput on an iron mine would be better, and we want a coal company, and so what we can do is we can disband this, and we can slot in Duro y Campania, which is interesting because I think we have two. So we have this Spanish company, which is giving us infrastructure, and now we're about to have another Spanish company here in Duro y Campania. Now, this isn't the best one we could possibly get. In theory, we could wait longer to incorporate Luhansk. I think the Russian company's better, but we will be getting arms industries and artillery industries throughput, which is going to be pretty nice. We could, in theory, do the Bakla, Von & Co., but I think that we don't have... Well, actually, let's check. Let's be a little bit heads up about it, because we do have two options, and I think we're going to end up having, so total shipyards, we have a shipyards, maybe, what is this, like 190, close to 200 total shipyards, and then the amount of arms industries we have is like 250, but to be fair, these artillery foundries are going to slowly kind of become a little bit more obsolete as we continue to shift everything over to tanks. And so maybe that's not super good, but we do have 150 arms industries, and so here we'll exempt those, and so we will be slotting over a Duro y Campania. I think will be marginally better. In theory, we could even do something like Kupas, but I think that we definitely want something that at the very least has coal. We could do Campania de Mines de Enzin, and it's a matter of the railway building throughput versus, you know, the additional throughput on, well, maybe that's even better, to be honest. We're getting railway building throughput, but we're sacrificing throughput, a little bit of a bonus throughput on the mines, which is going to be just halved, so it's 10% construction. So the question is would we rather have... We already have the construction bonus on the mines, and we already have one throughput bonus. If you get a second one, it's only half. And so the question is would we rather have... And we already have two steel companies. So actually, this one might be better, because I think we would rather have the 10% railway building throughput than 10% iron mine building throughput, because this is going to make our railways really, really kind of not need a lot. We already have 30% throughput. We have the company, we have John Cockrell, and we're going to get it up to 40%. This is going to be very nice for us. So I think that we also need to micromanage and actually spend more of that in some of these places like this. But I think we actually slot out in that other company. That's wild that we're thinking about it like this, because we already have two steel companies. We have this steel company, right, and this steel company, and so we will only get 6% bonus, you know, throughput on the steel mines if we go the Duro y Campania, and I think we would rather, we're getting 5% from the steel mill anyways, and so would we pay 1.6% railway throughput, or 1.6 steel mill throughput and 10% railway throughput for 10% you know, iron mine throughput? I'm not sure I expressed that correctly, but we are either getting the iron mine throughput or we're getting railway throughput and a little bit less steel. So I think we'll actually slot this in. And so I think this will be nice. And so these are our companies that we have gotten, that we've slotted in. It's not the absolute best. We haven't fully incorporated everything yet, so we don't necessarily have the best, but I think that we do like this. Ending up kind of stacking several railway bonuses along with throughput bonus, or along with infrastructure bonuses, which are multiplicatively effective, which is making it so that we really do not have to build a lot of railways. In theory, we also should kind of come through and micro a whole bunch of stuff, you know, come through and just take a look at prices, and we haven't been doing this as much as we should have. Maybe we'll do it a little bit, and just come here and, like, everything that's blue, everywhere where it's blue, we're going to turn on some railway throughput, or some railway PMs. We're actually going to come through and do this. It's going to be tedious, though. Alright, so we shifted a bunch of PMs. Hopefully that kind of fixes things up a little bit. But we also, it's kind of just a little bit. But we also are getting cooperative ownership here, which is going to be pretty nice. Ownership changes, and we will see an absolute annihilation of the Industrialists' clout over the course of this period of time, and all of it will go to the trade unionists, and the marginalized rural folk should be able to come out. I think that what we're going to do with our kind of leftover authority is we're going to bolster the rural folk, because we would like them to come on out. It would be nice to get the throughput bonus, but also the infrastructure bonus, pretty nice. But once these guys come on out, I think after that, then we could maybe go single-party state, and that this would work pretty well for us. We have a lot of people approving it, and it will give us back kind of a lot of authority here. And so, do like the idea of that. Also like the idea of Germany basically being, they're dunzo. They are dunskies. They are like, are they even a major power anymore? What's going on with them? If we sort by this, oh, I guess they're still a major power. They're about to lose Silesia, though. Alright, we're finally about to get the absolute axe in that our investment pool, which had several hundred million in it, has finally run out. So, it's got the hiccups now. It's a good thing this is going to be the last episode. We are cranking up on the SOL. We're going to crank up the taxes. God, that didn't do anything. Alright, well... And then there were two. Only two remaining great powers in the world. Germany just succumbed to major powerdom, just ahead of, with a 22 billion or 22 million GDP, almost back to the start, ready for the next game. They are going to be no longer kind of a thing. We see Russia with the big collapse. Of course, their market is still completely isolated. Brazil is looking the next best, and then we have like Heavenly Kingdom. Other than the United States is doing okay. They're doing okay. We are, though, annexing some people, and by that I mean Bosnia, son. We are going to be annexing Bosnia. We have this revolution in Congo. We kind of don't really care. We're not trying to min-max Uber, like, have the absolute best, like, show up at the end here. We're just trying to get through kind of what we have set out for today. And so I think we're just going to capitulate here and just give up the Congo as a subject. It's no longer our subject. You're free now. Fly away. Alright, we're going to go after Spain next, really trying to get the nice Roman Republic lettering over the middle of our country here. And so the sequencing might be important here because, for example, it might actually look better in the lettering if Gibraltar is controlled versus not controlled. This is an important consideration as we're kind of getting close to the end here. But we have a boiler explosion. We hate that. What's really unfortunate is that, okay, rural folk political strength is something we care about. What's really unfortunate is these guys are super marginalized. They would get a ton of votes if they could be eligible to vote, and we have a vote coming up in, 78 days, but it's not going to matter much because we're having such a hard time demarginalizing them. I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually invite an agitator with the kind of purpose of, we can't invite one yet. We don't have the cooldown. That's unfortunate. Just with the purpose of increasing their clout, we could try and recruit a bunch of, generals from the rural folk. But the thing is they're very unlikely to appear because they don't have that much clout, and it's really hard for people to get clout on the basis of wealth or this type of stuff while we're on Council Republic because votes are such a an important one. Actually, wait. Only 10 legitimacy based on votes? Is that for realsies? Good dealsies? Okay, I guess. I take it all back. I thought, okay, no. Universal suffrage is making it like that. So, universal suffrage, almost all of our legitimacy is based on votes rather than, clout or wealth or anything like this. And so it's really tough for us to be able to, demarginalize these guys. This is the difficulty. And so, not that it's going to matter too much because we're at home stretch here. We're going after Spain. We do have to fight Tunis, the UK, Hungary, Moldova, and Iraq in order to get old Roman borders. But that's it. That's really not too much. And we have 7 years to do it. Of course, we kind of want to do it this episode. I don't think we're going to do another episode, so this is kind of the soup we're swimming in. But shouldn't be too bad, especially if hopefully people like back down against us. I think we're probably going to make Protectorate and a bunch of other war goals in towards the end here to try and make them back down and give us Toledo and Oran. But we're going to have to wait until the escalation's pretty far ticked, because what would be catastrophic for us is if the UK joins, and there's 2 UKs right now, or is there 1 now? Have they become reunited? Okay, there was 2 UKs, now there's just 1. But what would be catastrophic is if they joined after we had used up all of our maneuvers. So Brazil did join last minute, but fortunately the UK did not, and this is the only one we really care about. We're just going to enforce on Spain and then just give up the bag to Brazil. It doesn't really matter. We have a bunch of nothing burger kind of enforcements that we don't care about. We only care about these two. And so we'll probably enforce the second we can, kind of offer this in terms of what they're willing to accept, which is going to actually involve us trying to land something, actually, on the capital. So maybe we try and land the capital here. These guys are ready to go. They're right there. We might as well land in Rio here, and so I guess we'll have a little bit of a go at the capital here. They don't have any sort of defense, and so this will hopefully allow us to enforce through, Brazil a little bit faster. Even though we're giving them up the war gold, they won't like us just annexing Spain, and so this will allow us to get this particular enforcement as fast as possible, and so this should be good for us. Yeah, okay, these battles are getting in instantly, and so they're gonna have a bad time here. We're gonna set in another guy on advanced front. These guys are both defensive, but since there's nothing opposing us, we might as well advance quickly, and enforce as quickly as possible. Bless their souls. Montenegro is uncertain about how the events will unfold here, with their 0 battalions versus our, 500 navy. I don't even know how many battalions we have, over 1,000 battalions. But they're just uncertain. They think that they probably lose, but things could go any way. You never know. You never know. All of our soldiers could die of a heart attack. It's possible that this happens. Alright, so we are about to enforce on Tunis here, and we are just going to, put that in, and after they say yes, what will happen is we will have these 2 other wars, and this is with our subjects. This is the Trucial State Aristocratic Revolt, and we will say, you know what, this is a little codependent, we don't need you anymore, we're going to capitulate, smell you later. And same with the Lahej, whatever revolt. What is this? A religious revolt? Capitulate. And now we will be going in on Great Britain, and it's really just about getting the name over the middle, and the thing that's the sticking point for us is this little Gibraltar here, and so we are going to be going for that, and we will have to, okay, there they are, and there's a 44% chance they just back down. This is fine. We don't need to enforce anything else on them, and so we would really, really love this if they just back down. Please back down. Please don't fight. Okay. They decided to fight, but it's quite likely that they will back down. They are minus 121 fearful. They have loans, they have bankruptcy, and they're really not about it. And so if we put in a bunch of other war goals, they are going to be really likely to back down. I think we're probably just going to protectorate them, considering nothing really matters anyways. And this is going to be a really, really high infamy war goal, which I forget how it's calculated, if it's based on overall sways or based on infamy. But we'll do that and probably annex a whole bunch of these pieces of territory up in this here, and so I'm hoping that they back down. We'll give it a few more ticks to see if to see who joins and what happens, but yeah. Alright, Great Britain, of course, decides that they're not having it. So this is actually going to be it. We're not going to get to annex Hungary and Moldova and Iraq, not because we don't want to, but because the game keeps crashing. The save file is officially dead, just short of the finish line. But, for the most part, we did restore the OG Roman borders. We are missing a few here and there. We have more than enough time left in the game to enforce all of this pretty comfortably, so I would say mission accomplished. But we can't play past this month. If we let it go, I think October 5th or around there is when it crashes every time. So this will be the end of the run. But let's take a little bit of a look at some of the endgame stuff. So Prestige. We have 8x the next person being the USA. The USA we could have kneecapped several times, but we were just staying really focused on the goal of getting the Roman borders. And throughout, there was a lot of really suboptimal stuff. We gave up a bunch of Africa in a lot of spots. Interesting, we get to see stuff like Kazembe, Congo, Southern African aristocratic revolt that's not at war. Orania, we get the Joja, Botswana. Haven't seen a lot of these as a result of us just absolutely dumpstering every European that kind of let Africa flourish on their own. This is a hot mess up in here, but okay, that is what it is. South America's doing they're doing okay, except for Peru, Bolivia, which sided against us at an inopportune time for them. Shout out to them. But other than that, I guess we could take a look at the market. The market's really not that much bigger than what we got going on. In terms of land we took, I guess we do have the Roman market over here and the Roman market here. Everyone remembers Australian Rome. And if we sort by GDP of the market, our market's significantly bigger than the next one, which is the Taiping market, and then the American market, and the Russian market. The Russian market, looks like they restored balance to the force by getting Kazan into their market. And so they actually do have kind of a recovered market, which is, shout out to them. Good for them. In terms of GDP, we're at 2 billion. The next biggest is our subject at 180 mil, and then the next one is Heavenly Kingdom, basically at their starting GDP, plus a little bit more. Looks like, looks like they had released UA, so like this... That makes sense. The next up is the USA, which I forget what they start with, but like really for the most part, people are pretty weak. Actually, and then even the USA, like we take a look, the next biggest ones are like our subjects here. Wow, look at that GDP chart on Mexico. What's that about? Is that when they became our subject? They just popped the fuck off? What's that? I mean, Hungary maybe a little bit too? Interesting. Okay, well, Germany's obviously clapped. Scandinavia. Germany's also, Germany's like small Prussia at this point. The truth hurts. Yeah, ooh, looks like Argentina popped off in the same way. I wonder what that is exactly that caused that there. Huh. That's so very interesting. Was that maybe when we go in Council Republic and it like changed the demand for goods? I'm not sure exactly, but this is a decent type of thing. We had a really high SOL this run because we did manage to input Council Republic, and we were kind of getting rid of a lot of our peasants. We still had some peasants left, but for the most part, really, really clean come up on the pop. Clean come up on the GDP. I guess our GDP chart kind of looks like that too. We were hoping that by the end date, we might be able to, take Iraq, this and then like one province off the Heavenly Kingdom and also have the biggest population in the game, but so much for that. That's not going to happen at this point, but I hope you guys enjoyed the run. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. We'll probably load an autosave in order to get a better thumbnail, because if we back down to these guys, the thumbnail won't look as good. But anyways, that's a tangent. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good one. Bye-bye now.
Now, children, I was asked to bring a healthy snack, so join me in the hall for swine livers and Capri Suns.